he passed when?
May 10th, 2021.
Wow, it's been that long already.
Yeah, it's
Damn,
been
it feels like it wasn't even a couple months ago. Wow,
yeah, it's been like 7 months and I still can't believe it.
that's crazy. And of course, as you mentioned at the beginning of this episode, it's your dad's birthday, which I think was so interesting when we booked this day. You know, because initially we were gonna book yesterday.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, let's figure this out, blah blah blah. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out, and then we're like, okay, well, what about Saturday? And you were like, yeah, Saturday works. By the way, it's my dad's birthday, and I'm like, all right, well, we're definitely doing that day. I mean, there's no way we're stopping this
Yeah,
time.
makes it more interesting and special, to be honest.
Yeah. So I guess the one thing I told you this was my one agenda for the entire podcast episode, really.
Yeah.
Your ability to keep on smiling and laughing, even though you were going through so many difficult things. And it wasn't just your dad, of course. I know that there were a couple of other things that have been happening. And of course, you've still taken some time off, right? And kind of gotten away from the internet for a little bit here and there. And of course, that's all great. But I still remember, like, every time you were around us, or at least around me, still the same smiling, laughing guy. I mean, there was still obviously behind the scenes, you would talk to us a little bit and you'd be telling us about what's going on, but you still maintain that energy. How do you do that? When shit when shit hits the fan, how do you do that?
So I have to say that I kind of listened to like a couple of your podcast episodes before coming into this podcast. I mean, not just yesterday, but like, even before. And I was obviously, Dora has been a really amazing friend of mine, and I listened to that episode, and there was something that she mentioned, and this was something we both always talk about when we have like this deep conversations with each other. I am a people pleaser, like Dora, like just like Dora is, and I'm literally taking the words that she has already said. For me, I think I come from a below average middle class family. We struggled with money during my childhood. My dad had drinking habits and gambling habits and stuff like those, which also ruined my family's, economy, or whatever you want to call it. Just stability, I would say. I was the only child for my parents. I am the only child for my parents. Yeah. And I think out of all of these, despite having no money, there was one thing that my parents actually really followed, and that was to be humble. So my dad has always been someone that no matter like how much he was struggling, he always tried to put a smile on the other person's face. And I think growing up with them, obviously, I have their DNA in me, and also the qualities that they taught me. I mean, I think I'm sorry, maybe you have to edit this part out, but yeah, I kind of flashed to a memory of mine, and yeah.
Oh, please. Yeah. No worries.
So I don't really want to talk about this on a public platform, but I can tell you later about it. Okay.
Okay.
Or maybe if you promise to edit this part out,
Okay, you know what?
then I
I'll do it
can.
this way.
Mhm.
Audience, I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to pause this recording so I can listen to Pranav's story, and then I will press record again. Okay, we're back. Again, I have
Yeah.
no idea if I'm going to leave this in or not, so we'll see.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, to the audience, I'm really sorry. That's the story that I shared with Eric it's
very,
way too personal. So
very all
it's
good
way
though.
personal, but it's also a story that obviously made me who I am today. So
Yeah, it's
um,
one of those stories that I think it's important to keep it to your close to your heart.
yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely is. And yeah, it's um, okay. So this was something that happened when I was 6 years old. So also this story kind of, is etched in my brain. As
yeah,
I mentioned, like it's in my brain, and it will never go out of my brain till the day I die. And
yeah.
I think, you know, coming through that tough period, or like tough situation,
Yes,
I've kind of developed this, habit of like going through these tough challenges. I don't think anything tougher could have happened. Yes, obviously my father passing away is also tough,
that's true
but
though. That's true. Yeah,
yeah. So when I think about it, like when I think that something is really tough for me to face, or to like handle, then I always just go back to these stories of like my dad passing away, or the story that I shared with you.
yeah,
I go back to these, and I'll be like, I faced that. How hard is this gonna be?
yeah.
So,
Wow.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, like the smile part, I think, as I said, that's something that. So my dad was my best friend. He never treated me as, like this father-son relationship or something. But yeah, obviously, father and son relationship is always like that. I believe. Um, at least I'm blessed and I'm lucky to have
Yes,
a father that was like my best friend.
for sure.
So yeah, we had no money, but we had like he had this kind heart to be nice to others, no matter what life is throwing at him. And yeah, as I said, um, being humble, um, being grateful are two things that I really learned from my parents, and are two things I really enjoy doing even today. So I could say, that's where the smile comes from. I don't expect anything from people, so I'm just there trying to put a smile on the other person's face, and I know if I laugh and if I make the other person comfortable, they would also smile, and they would
Yeah.
respond to me in a nice way. I think that was one trick that I
Yeah.
used in Oslo to finish the 24 hours no money challenge.
Yes. Yes. Dude, I remember watching that. I got the good fortune. Here's the thing, Pranav. I got the good fortune of watching that pretty much almost after it was over because of
Okay.
the time zone difference. So there
Yeah.
was no suspense